And there we are.
All right.
What's going on, man?
Now up to Milepost 51. Going places.
Yeah.
So,
thanks for coming on, though, guys.
thanks for the invite, man.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
So it's good being here with you.
Heck yeah.
We got a lot of stuff we're trying out right now. So
yeah,
I think we just caused a power outage in a small city next to us.
At least it's not in here. That's what we're focused on.
This is true.
Yeah.
At least we still got power here.
Oh yeah.
On backup generators, but
power.
So what's good, man?
Not much. I figured it'd be awesome to get, much like myself, I really enjoy riding with my dad. And I figured, hey, it'd be awesome to get, Chase and you guys get on here and get another, father-son combo that enjoys the road and enjoys the company and just enjoys riding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did not get an opportunity to ride with my dad the way I get to ride with Chase, and the way you get to ride with your dad, Denver. So yeah, it's been something that I'm definitely don't feel like I'm taking for granted.
Mm-hmm.
I give him shit whenever he's got to live his life without me, but I sure am very grateful for the times that I get to spend with him. So,
and it's really cool.
Yeah,
there's times in the memories and whatnot that you'll have that you can remember forever, and then like with you go down that rabbit hole. I mean, you have all these videos and pictures and 1,500 terabytes of photos and videos.
Yeah, last month I went through about that.
Yeah, I mean, and you go riding with friends. I've been riding with a few friends, but there's really nothing like riding with my dad. And it's. I've said it a few times, I think my dad's probably one of my closest friends, if not like I'd say I've got 3 really good friends I can count on. My dad is one of them, so being able to ride with my dad is just, I wouldn't trade it for anything, so that's, I'm real grateful to be able to do that.
It is a lot of fun, but okay. Time out, Jason. What got you into wanting to ride, Chase?
Well, it's about everybody around me. Was it after you got your bike? It was like right around the same time I got my Sportster, right?
Are you talking about your 50 little no name when you were 3 years old? That bike?
Well, okay. I got my first 2-wheel bike, right? I got that. I got a dirt bike when I was 4, and I remember having a blast on it and riding it all the time. My dad remembers a different story, but what's a fun thing to say about that, right? Is I couldn't reach something. Was it the brakes or something?
The ground. You couldn't reach the ground.
Oh, I couldn't reach the ground, right? So anytime I wanted to stop riding, I would have to yell at my dad on the porch and say, "Hey, I'm done," and he'd have to run out in the yard and come catch me. So you gotta let off the throttle, please. I'm gonna stand in front of you.
Oh yeah, that took some getting used to.
So, but recently, here was probably a little over 2 years ago. I think my dad had picked up that 03 Electric Glide from my uncle, and
04, yeah.
I was an 04, and so he was on that all the time. And I had been wanting a bike because I was a teenage boy. I'm a male, right? So just about all of us want to ride at some point. So I think I was 19 at the time, and I got a deal on a Sportster after Christmas. And that's it.
He got a deal on a Sportster because of Christmas. Now, what had happened was he was looking at these like Vulcans, these
Shadows.
Yeah, he's like these $1,000, $1,200 motorcycles, and I was like, for Christmas, and I tell you what, I'll go in half on your rehearsed bike. 10 minutes. He goes, "Hey, can we go test ride the Sportster?"
Yeah, December 26th, I got a bike.
Dude, I was like, "Holy shit, that was fast!"
Looking at bikes for a month, and Dad was like, "Hey, I'll go halvesies." I was like, "All right, let's go tomorrow."
Yeah, well, that's great because I got all kinds of stuff we can buy. This one doesn't work out. I got 3 more lined up right after this. All Harley.
Oh yeah,
I was like, dang, that's really
awesome.
Oh yeah, but yeah, and then of course got a Sportster 883 as my first bike, which is one of the most customizable Harleys you can buy. I would argue, and it was an 883, which meant I couldn't really keep up with anybody. So in about 3 months or so, I outgrew it. I was ready for a new bike.
So one of the big things for me was I was like, I've got, I know him. I know him really well, So I'm like, I don't want you to. I don't want to just get you your motorcycle license, and say, hey, good luck. You know, I'm not that kind of hands off kind of fella. You know, so we went for the first like month or so. I mean, there was all these rules. You know, I was like, look, dude, don't go riding without me. Don't this, don't that, blah 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 blah. I mean, I felt kind of like an asshole, but people can. Right, anybody that rides for any length of time knows just how defensive somebody can be riding. You know what I mean? With all the cars, everything. Nobody sees you. Nobody cares about you. Nobody pays attention to you. And I just didn't want his motorcycle career to end before it started. You know, so I was like, I want to be out there with you. I want to see, how you react to certain things. Blah blah blah. And then so we got helmets with Bluetooth in them. That helped a whole lot. Because as he's riding, I'm like, hey, do you see this car about to sideswipe you?
I think so.
You see that guy coming over? Yeah, fuck him. Yeah.
My pipes were almost louder than his. My Sportster.
Yeah.
So I've never heard you say the word forbid about anything my entire life. And I can say I'm actually grateful for it. Whenever I started riding, he said, I forbid you ride without a helmet. And I don't blame him. It's, I mean,
and this is coming from a guy that never wore a helmet.
Yeah. Well, you just recently started wearing helmets a couple years ago, right?
Well, with the 04.
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever got into wearing a full face lid all the time.
Yeah. It was sunglasses and bug teeth, right? Before.
Yeah, man. Whenever I had my shadow, it was like that,
Yeah.
But I made him wear a helmet for sure.
Yeah, crazy grateful for that too. Because I don't even like going across the parking lot without a helmet at this point.
And for good reason too.
Well, yeah, shit happens fast, especially whenever I'm on the throttle. I'm real grateful for it.
You got a little story you want to tell?
Yeah,
actually, I would love to get I would love to get the details because I've yet to hear everything that's happened. All I know is that you had to buy a new helmet.
Yeah, this was about 4 days ago. Perfect example of how quick things happen. I was pulling out of my parking lot at work, and like usual, I got a little sideways. This time was a little more than a little sideways. I was just full on sea bear, and my back tire had swung around so far that I actually ran out of steering. So it's like my steering actually, I guess it locked or it hit the maximum steering angle or something. So it was like my back end comes around and it thuds real hard, and I was like, oh well, shit. And then I just high sided immediately. And then, so I high-sided, my head hit the ground, hardest it's ever hit the ground. And the very first thing I thought, wearing my Shoei, was, I can't believe how comfortable this helmet made that feel. It was like I fell on a couple pillows. That was so nice, So I mean, I got bruises all up on my right side, but my head is just.
You would think wiping out would deter somebody from being an asshole on the throttle. Not this one. Yeah. I was like, that wasn't so bad at all.
Just give me a new helmet and start all over again.
It's funny how you went kind of, full on sea bears. He's coming on the podcast here pretty soon.
Nice.
Really?
Very nice.
Super cool.
He was
sea bears
on. It was next weekend, but he's moving right now to a new house, so he's going to be on here in a couple weeks.
I love that dude's style, man. I could watch him smoke tires for days. He's an animal, dude. I love watching him.
I've been really interested to see where he's going with this drifting with cars. I've been seeing he's been building a Corvette, and I think it's an E36 BMW, and they both look like rowdy cars. And like as soon as I started seeing him in those cars, he was already a madman. I mean, you seen what he can do on a bike, and that translated almost immediately into a car. It was like first time I saw him behind that wheel of a Corvette, it was completely sideways.
Dude, some of those guys, the shit they do is insane.
Oh yeah, his whole crew, right? I mean, all his buddies, they're Instagram gold, man.
Yeah, Junkyard, CJ, all of them. Yeah, they're nuts. Oh yeah, but yeah. So that was whenever I was on my Sportster, I was watching those guys get crazy on road glides, and I think that was along with my dad getting a road glide. That was one of the things that made me really want a road glide over a street glide or electric glide. Was just all those guys, all the cool kids had road glides and Simpson helmets.
Speaking of, he was saying just how comfortable it was for him to crash into the ground with his pillow like Shoei.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, oh, it made falling high siding so comfortable. So I'm like, So you bought a new helmet? Yeah, I bought a Simpson.
Yeah. I mean, the day I put on my white police officer looking showy, I was like, man, I can't wait till I have an excuse to buy a Simpson because those look so much cooler. But
yeah, give it time. Here we go. Yeah. Sure, yeah, let's just wipe out.
So what are you doing about fucking 10, 15 when you high-sided it?
Oh yeah, nothing. I was doing maybe 15 miles an hour. But yeah, so I high-sided and then my bike spun around and then it high-sided again. There were speaker grills and shit all over the road, and so it's no surprise to anybody that I've dumped that bike a few times, and each time it's like I pick it up and it's like nothing. Like it's fine. So that bike high-sided twice. There was shit all over the road. I just stuck everything back where it goes, and you'd never guess. You know, I mean, until you get close.
You know, and I don't have to guess because usually I'm there.
Yeah, I think that was the first one you weren't there for. Actually,
we were in New Mexico. And we got into some weather. He went. Me and my brother and my son, all three of us went on this trip to New Mexico during January, this time last year.
Yeah, well, and it didn't start as a New Mexico trip. It was like we were going to go to Arkansas, like touch the tip of it and head back in like a couple days.
Actually, what happened was Jay says, he goes, I want to do a weekend ride, and I just want to go somewhere and back in like a day. Like he goes, how far is Oklahoma from here? I was like, well, we could do Oklahoma and back in a day. I mean, it'd be a long day, but we can do it. Yeah, no problem. And then so he's like, yeah, let's do that. I was like, cool. Let me call my buddies. So we were like, then this turned into going to Arkansas, and he's like, oh, well, I guess I got to take a day off work now. And so then it turned into a 3-4 day trip to New Mexico because Arkansas was rained out.
Yeah, because Arkansas was raining.
Yeah. Yeah,
I thought maybe Chase was planning on the ride, so you're going to New Mexico via Arkansas or something. It's over there.
Yeah, a geography major.
Yeah, not too far.
So yeah, we were in New Mexico, and me and my brother both. So he there's a whole story about that, but he drops it, and he's spinning or whatever, his bike's spinning around, and we were actually talking in comms when that went down, and I mean, there's the good and the bad about what.
We didn't go to Arkansas because it was raining. So we went to New Mexico where it was snowing. It
wasn't snowing. It was sleet. It was ice, but
there was snow all along the side of the road. What do you mean it wasn't snowing? He gets done telling me not to careful with the ice, and then I spin around like a top for a little bit.
So yeah, we were talking when he went down, and that was like that's the good and the bad both are riding with family, right? Because I mean you get to enjoy all the good, but if there's ever any bad, you got to be there for that too, And so like I'm like I'm about to wipe out. He is wiping out, and my brother's just. Oh. I'm like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? The whole time, and I'll be hearing him. It felt like it was like an hour of him wiping out. You know what I mean? I was just like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And the whole time I hear him, "Fuck shit," and then so he goes, "I'm good. I'm good," and then he stands up and he goes, "Oh, I'm not good. Oh, I think it's my ankle." And I was like, "No, not your ankle. Not out here. We're in the middle of nowhere." You could make it if it was a broke finger or broke something else, but not your ankle.
Yeah, I mean, like there's no service, no towns within, what was it, like 20, 30 miles?
That dude, it could have got out of hand in a hurt. I mean, it kind of did, but I mean, yeah. it was like, wow. I mean, we should probably do a little better planning.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we made it up 2 miles down the road, and there was so much snow on the road we couldn't even see where it was.
Ice. There was so much ice on the road.
It was ice. Oh, I thought it was snow.
Yeah, no, it was no. That was.
Oh.
Yeah, it was tough.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, but the whole point of all that was, yeah, me and my brother, right? So he drops his bike, and then we get done, whatever, and then we stand his bike back up, and it wouldn't start. But other than that, it was like, dude, there's not even a scratch on it. The bike was literally doing 360s on the ground. It was in the ice. It was just like. Yeah. Wow, I guess that's lesson learned. If you don't want to do any damage to your bike, drop it in the ice.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Those crash bars are I kind of don't like saying it, right? But those crash bars work really good. Been put to the test.
More than once.
Yeah. My first spill was actually I wasn't being a dick. I just didn't really know how to handle my bike, and I on my road glide at least. My first spill on my road glide.
I think it's funny that both of us, when we start our stories with, look, I wasn't being an asshole this time.
Yeah, this time. I had a super I was almost running a drag slick because my back tire, I didn't even realize it, and it was raining. And then I low sided. And that first one, there actually was a little bit of damage on my paint because it was like it went over onto like the actual side of the bike to where the wheels weren't touching the ground, and it slid a little bit. But that's the only damage that has been really done to my bike from slides.
And he kicked his handlebars and knocked a button off.
Oh yeah, when I was sliding in New Mexico.
I mean, that's like,
I knocked out the cruise control button. It's actually still not there. I've made do.
I went down here a couple weeks left in December, a couple weeks into December, and I'm like $25,000 damage to my bike. One spill. I'm like, shit.
Well, I haven't spilled at 70 yet. I think that's the key piece.
Yeah, no, it's probably a good thing.
And most of mine have been low sides.
Yeah, Jason, you'd be the first guest to come on, and really don't have a bike, but here you are on the Twin Life talking bikes when
listen
bikeless,
up,
really.
Listen up, people. I have a bike, and I ride that bike. Don't let them fool you.
I'll give you props.
I want a bike.
I'll give you props on this. You rode 1,000 miles with a wrecked bike,
with bent frame and
bent handlebars.
Yeah, that wasn't finishing the ride. That was. You know what? Screw this year. I'm going out. I'm doing it my way.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, because that was what we were initially doing when you did lay your bike over. Was we were trying to do a 1K in a day, and it was 1K in a day, and we had invited a few people, and we're like, all right, so it's raining. Y'all want to reschedule? And
we invited a lot of people.
Yeah, 2 of them showed up.
2 of them showed up. And go figure. It was because it was like it was raining, right? So everybody was like, it was raining. 1,000 miles in the rain, you crazy. Well, we had 2 crazy bastards that was wanting to come with us.
One of them had a crazy bike too. It sounds like a horse trotting on concrete whenever his bike's running. It's that thing's like
that thing sounds wicked, man.
It was built by House of Harley. It's got all HPI parts on it, man. Oh, sexy bike. But yeah, so he was having some trouble keeping his tires.
We were all having trouble
especially you. Well, all of us stayed upright. Easy.
Jesus. Turn violent quick.
Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, but love riding with family. Love riding with family.
Oh, yeah.
So actually, right, our whole Setzerpendence crew, there's 4 of us, me, my brother, my son, and my nephew. The 4 of us riding together is like an event, you know what I mean? For us to actually all 4 be together riding is kind of monumental. We have crazy wild schedules, and we don't ever really get an opportunity for like we went in May, for their birthday. That was the first time we did a major ride, out of state and camping and all the good stuff. So we're going to try to at least do one every year where we do something like that, but it's just really tough getting all 4 of us together. Yeah. 3 of us together is pretty doable. I mean, there's one guy usually can't make it, but 3 of us, like I said, we were out in New Mexico at the beginning of the year. There's times in me and my brother and my nephew, we hit some licks or whatever. And then 2 of us is, there's always usually 2 of us riding, and whenever one of us is riding, usually the other one's riding. Somebody else is riding with him. So me and my brother put down a lot of miles. So
yeah. Well, how many 1Ks in a days have you done?
Last year?
Oh yeah. I mean, last year.
I don't know. I think it was like 4.
That's nuts. I did 1 and it was awful. And like when we were doing our second one, I was in rough shape. I don't think that I could have finished the day, to be honest.
Yeah, I had no idea. And so
I was Googling hypothermia and shit.
Hey, let me explain to you. This is my son. This is how my son prepares for a ride.
Oh.
This is how this goes. Chase, it's going to be raining. It's going to be the 30s. It's going to be nasty. We're going to meet at 5 a.m. We're going to meet at this place. Cool. Got it. So we show up and he's got 2 jackets. I'm like, did you not get the memo? And he's like, no, I got another jacket. I got 2 jackets. I was like, you're not even wearing gloves. What the? I said, it's going to be raining. It's going to be nasty, 30 degrees. We were in New Mexico, and it got down to the 20s. And he was just like, oh, this is so miserable. I told you it was going to be miserable. What the hell? Yeah, but I didn't know. I thought you were just a big wuss, Dad. It's really miserable. So, I mean, after a few trips like this, you would think, but no, he was like, yeah, raining, well, whatever, I'll show up. I got it.
I mean, I had gloves this time. They were thrashing gloves. They weren't, they're like little, I guess stunt gloves. I don't know, summer gloves. So they weren't protecting against rain at all.
I keep 3 pairs. I have like lightweight, kind of like half finger. Then I got my crash ink gloves, and then I'll have some heavier ones if it's really going to get cold. It's like, you know what? They don't take up much room. I'd rather just take a few, just be on the safe side. It's like, I just throw them in the tour pack, and if I need them, they're there. If something happens, somebody needs a pair of gloves, hey, not a problem. Here you go. I got extras.
So when my bike was broke down in Arizona, I rented a bike to meet up with Salty and Sprinkles and Big Smitty. Got the pup run.
Yep.
And I didn't have any gear. Like I had to buy a helmet. I had a whole everything, right?
Oh yeah.
So I don't know what happened, but I didn't have gloves. And so Big Smitty, he goes, hey man, I got a spare set of gloves, man. Here you go. Right. And I don't even think that we made it to the second stop. I was like, man, I need some gloves. He's like, I just gave you a set of gloves. What the hell? What happened to him? I was like, man, I don't know. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what happened.
You lost Big Smitty's gloves?
He said he didn't really need them anyway. He's got the fast mask. So he's like, here's some mechanic peasant shit. So, I mean, and I appreciate Smitty. I do. I got me out of a bind. But
well, for a little while.
Yeah, for a little while.
Got yourself back into a bind. So, Denver, I've worn a few of those really thick gloves. My problem is mobility, right? That was, I think, one of my bigger issues in New Mexico is Jonas offered me some really thick gloves, but I couldn't get used to it. So I would rather have frozen fingers.
Well, see, and I do have the real heavy ones, but then I have, I don't know if you want to call them like a medium heavy. I think they're Olympias, and they're actually really freaking nice. I mean, they got some insulation in them, but they're not too big and bulky like I guess you can Denver call them like winter riding gloves they are super thick, and sometimes it feels like it's hard to kind of hang on to the handlebars a little bit because they are so thick, but Jesus, they are so warm. But I know what you mean about you get gloves that are they're almost too much.
You can't, it's not like we're riding a Goldwing. You got to be able to use the clutch.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
so fun fact, I was on that New Mexico trip where I learned why people don't use mittens when they ride bikes.
Why is that? Because you duct taped your fingers with mittens,
right?
Which is like
and
double mittens.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know about other people, but I know about this one. This one doesn't use mittens because I use the clutch. I use 2 fingers on the clutch.
Yeah, me too. Clutch and brake, these ones.
Yeah, I didn't realize that about myself until I had duct taped my fingers together because it was so damn cold. I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta stop."
These two, when we were in New Mexico, my dad and uncle, we went to a Walmart and I bought some gloves that I immediately took off because I didn't like them. But they bought mittens, and I was like, "What are you guys gonna do with mittens? Y'all both have decent gloves." But
I thought it was such a clever idea because we were gonna put the mittens over the gloves. Because it was just like this little. The problem is this part of your hand gets cold when you're holding onto the throttle, right? I got hand warmers. They worked really well. I had actually blisters on my hands.
Yeah, it's nuts.
But the outside of my fingers is what sucks. Is what gets cold, and it wasn't even really the outside of my hand. It was just the fingers right here, And so, I was like, I'm such a genius. I just put mittens. I just put the little mitten right there on the part of my finger as it gets cold, and then problem solved. I even put some hand warmers in there. Shit, man, I'm good.
So yeah, I mean they were duct taping mittens to their hands, and I was like scoffing at them like, you guys are ridiculous. And then it gets down to like the really low 30s or.
Can I have some of that duct tape, guys?
Well, yeah. So yeah, we pull over, and I was like, can I just have some duct tape?
Just right on my hands. Just love you.
Yeah, and then 5 minutes later, I was wrecked my bike.
Yeah, it was so damn windy that when we were out there. The hell it was. So we pulled over and we had to keep our helmets on and talk through comms because You could, if you opened your visor, you was getting sandblasted. You could. Our bikes actually literally got sandblasted. My brothers and mine on the trunks from that little trip, that sandstorm that we went through.
I took my trunk off to make that long trip, so I didn't have that.
Like I said, this is how he gets ready, you know. But I got 2 jackets.
But yeah, I mean, my trunk didn't suffer. But yeah, it's weird. So your bike turned glossy in certain spots, and Jonas's bike turned matte in certain spots.
Well, his paint came off.
Oh,
under the luggage rack on top of the tour pack.
Wow.
In between the tour pack and the luggage rack. It was weird. That was strange.
Yeah.
See, I don't like the looks of my bike when I take the tour pack off. I've done it a couple times. Like, I'm just so used to it with the tour pack, and I leave it on nonstop. And plus, I mean, there's times I'll go to the grocery store, I'll take the bike, you know. I mean, I can fit a lot of shit in that thing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. It is kind of nice. Or like put your helmet in, lock it. Don't have to worry about anybody taking your helmet or bringing your helmet in anywhere.
You know, it's like you talk about the cold. I know there's been times been riding where it was so cold when I used to work out at the prison. It was like 65-mile commute one way, and I'd ride my motorcycle a lot. But there'd be times I'm leaving at 3:30 in the morning, and I went through town once. It's like 36 degrees. Get out towards west of Port Angeles, and the road looks like diamonds, but it's so cold. You're literally reaching down with putting your hand on the motor.
Yeah.
Trying to warm it up. Then you switch hands, put the other hand down on the engine.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
dude, I was doing that the other day. I had to take my bike local to what's up, Smitty? I sure am glad you didn't get that little Honda reference I was at. So I had to take my bike.
Come on.
I had to take my bike to the local Harley shop, and there was one spot where I had to get on the highway, and then I got on the highway and I came back off. I was like, you know, I didn't have any gear, and it was on purpose because it was just going to be a short trip. I'm like, dropping it off. I just, you know, tough through it, right? So I get to the stoplight, and I'm like, I got both my hands. I'm sitting on both my hands, you know, like this. And then I look over, and this 18-wheeler, this dude's looking at me. He's got a short sleeve shirt on. And he's like, he's shaking his head. I was like, yeah, man. just keep on driving.
Right on, brother.
He's in there with the heater turned on, nice and comfortable. Got that cup of coffee.
Oh yeah, he rolls the window. Steam's coming out.
Yeah. I know. I did that last week. I passed some guys, you know, working, and it just pouring rain like a pack of 4 of them going by. It's like, you know, wouldn't mind ride, but God, it sucks right now.
Mm-hmm.
It just ain't fun when you're on a highway, like on a big interstate, and it's pouring rain. It's bad enough, but then you get all the traffic, all the mist coming off the road from all the other cars. Like, fuck a bunch of that. Well, I hate riding interstates in the rain. I hate it.
Well, and then, you know, riding in the rain is the only thing that sucks about that is the other cars for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, wiping out, that sucks too. But it was the most stressful part about that was the other cars. I was worried about getting run over. So, but yeah, you know, because if some jackwagon's going to pull in front of you in a normal day, I mean, I'll take that every day. You know, I was up around them. I can do this, that, or whatever. I'm thinking, you know, of all the things that I could be doing anyway. But in the rain, you can't just zip over, you know.
And I have very limited experience living places and driving places, right? Like regularly. I can tell you in San Antonio, people, it's like it's their first time in the rain every time.
Every time.
You know?
Every time.
So like that's 100% the most stressful part. I can agree all the way. Because I've got pretty good control over myself and my bike and watching things on the road that are not moving and animate objects. But these people are so unpredictable, you know? Yeah.
Now, I laugh. You say, I got pretty good control of my bike, and I hear all the story. Well, this time when I dumped it, when I laid it this time, I had it.
There's only one way to get really good control of your bike. You got to find out where the limit is a few times.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you forget, you gotta push that limit again.
Me.
That's where that line in the sand was. Yeah. Now I remember. Yeah. No, I don't do this normally.
Yeah. I mean, it's all been low speed stuff. There was a time with the sisters. Did you see whenever I about ate it at the sisters right before George did? No, Kyle saw it. I was behind road cap for the day at the Twisted Sisters.
I hate road capping. I hate being out in front.
And so,
I get to miss all the good stuff, apparently.
Yeah. All those cameras didn't catch. You haven't caught a single one of my wrecks. All those.
I haven't caught a single one of my wrecks. Jesus. I mean, damn.
Oh.
Well, yeah. So yeah, you were like I think I'd like to turn now.
Oh,
we're all doing 60, but I think
I actually do remember that because I was like, I think I cut that a little close, and I look at my mirror and I just see Chase.
Yeah. So yeah,
going sideways.
Yeah, I try to make this turn and I hit a patch of gravel, and then my bike is on its crash bars. So I just keep giving it throttle and I make it out. So that was cool. I felt like a badass doing that. But like I made eye contact with George, who was about to T-bone me. It was rapid.
Oh my god!
Not 30 minutes later, my buddy told my Sportster.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like that's not so bad, man. It's just a paint and
I mean, I thought it was like $200.
Gas tank, man. I got all these parts in stock already, man. I'm good.
Yeah, I was working at a bike shop at the time, and the owner was like, I plan on selling my bike anyway. I was gonna sell my bike. My buddy George was out.
Not for parts.
Hopefully for more than $1,000, right? So my buddy George, he had a bike, and we were all going to the sisters, and he's like, man, I really want to go, but I don't have a bike, or like mine's broken. I have some wiring problems, and I was like, dude, no worries, you can just borrow my Sportster. I've been riding with him a few times, and I told him a few times. I was like, hey man, my dad and I
for real.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I had one like that last year. Not to interrupt you, we talked about hail when they had the toy run. And me and my dad went to do the toy run up here, and weatherman, hey, it's not supposed to rain. So it's like, fuck, I ain't taking the chaps. I won't need them. It's only 20 miles to the casino. Well, I think we got 4 miles from the house. Starts raining. Oh, this is great. We get, through Squim. I'm about 4 miles from the casino, and it starts hailing.
Oh my god!
Chunks, and I was just in my half helmet. Same with my dad. I look over at him. We're riding down the road with our arms over our face because the hail is just beating the shit out of us. Get to the casino. I mean, I'm just soaked from the knees down. It's like, oh, this is great, but
I'm getting a room.
Yeah.
I'm already here. Piss on it. We'll just keep going.
Yeah.
I did the toy run. Figured I ain't hanging around once we got back to town. It's like I'm going home, get some dry clothes on.
Oh my gosh. I've always been pretty worried about hail. Like a couple times I thought that I might be caught in it. I've been like, all right, I'm gonna pull over. Because rain alone, like rain alone at speeds hurts. Like hail.
So what were you saying?
Hail, especially you got a full face helmet, man. It is loud inside your helmet.
I bet.
Imagine.
I bet.
What were you saying?
It's brutal when it's a half helmet.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm saying catching a bug. I'll have my visor up. I'll catch a bug on the forehead, and I'm like,
fighting
furious.
mad.
Oh yeah,
God.
I'm ready to
enjoying the day, all zen and everything. Motorcycle riding is peaceful, loving therapy, throttle therapy. God, I hate my life right now.
Yeah, ready to become a bug exterminator next day. Oh my
gravel
gosh.
or anything.
Oh, I had a bee go in mine once and stung me right next to my ear. Went in my visor.
Oh my gosh.
I had to pull over because it started throbbing so bad in my ear. Oh, it was brutal. I even had one coming home one time there's a cool highway called 112. It runs right along the Strait of Juan de Fuca, which is between Washington and Canada. And I could see the bee coming, this massive bumblebee. Well, it hit me right on the inside of the thigh. And I was doing, 80-ish. I mean, it blew my thigh open. I felt, like I got shot. A buddy of mine on his Ultra Classic, it's got Vance and Hines pipes. He's like 5 bike lengths in front of me. He could hear me screaming because he turns around and look, I'm back there. It was brutal. He's so standing. What are you doing? He's like, I gotta be.
It's my bee.
Dude, it hit me high up inside the thigh. That was fucking brutal.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. So yeah, I told George a number of times while we were at the sisters. So finish this up real quick. I told him, I was like, hey, my dad and I, we've been through here a few times. I think we've been 3 times by this time, and I had just gotten pipes on my bike, so I was obviously a little ready to shred. I told George, I was like, hey, my dad and I are a little crazy. Don't follow us if you don't feel comfortable, please. I stressed that a number of times.
You told him we're crazy?
I told him that we're going to be a little rowdy.
Okay.
So we passed these cars and hit a turn right after. And George is still passing the cars while he's doing that turn. So yeah, he flies through the turn doing 80. He said he was doing like 40. I don't believe that for a second.
Because we weren't doing 40.
Yeah. So yeah, he flies off this corner, and I was working at a bike shop at the time, and we're assessing the damage, and I was like, oh dude, $200-300, just a tank, my headlight, listed off all the stuff. I can get it all at dealer pricing. Price everything out, tweak frame, totaled. So that's no fun. But misters are fun.
Yeah, it was a very expensive day on the road.
Oh yeah.
You're a half hour in and no one swapped hats. I don't have any logos on my hats.
Oh,
Swapping hats.
Yeah.
That was one of the best moments ever.
Yeah. Bri, it's a different type of product placement, sir.
Oh yes, sir. Yeah, we're not sellouts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Yeti. Keeping things cold.
So anyway, so yeah, sisters wiped out your
What's the
bike.
plan for this year? Any guys? You got some ride ideas?
Four Corners. That's the penciled in. Everybody's on board as of right now.
And now, are you talking the big Four Corners?
No. Just the Four Corners rally.
So you say Four Corners? I'm thinking you're talking the Four Corners run.
No, that's a deal me and my brother are probably going to do. These two, my son and nephew, they probably won't be able to do that in their working life.
Yeah. The Four Corners,
maybe, I don't know.
I might not be able to make the Four Corners. I'd really like to, like the rally. I'd really like to, but
Killing me, man. You're killing me.
I don't know, man. Things are expensive. Gas is cheap on a bike, but it's still expensive, period.
So the Four Corners is the major thing that we've got. The other stuff is kind of not to sponsor me.
I'm fucking Bri.
I'm saying.
Oh,
But yeah, so that's like I said, we're trying to plan one for sure every year. I think that's the one that we're trying to plan. If we got to drag this one over here screaming and running up his debit card or his credit card, we will. But as far as like all the other stuff that comes, that is so spontaneous for us. It's like Monday comes around, we have monthly meetings. we get together. We get together once a month and we try to organize this stuff, but
try is that's a key word right there. Try.
Yeah. We ended up just drinking beer and talking shit,
Yeah.
But,
maybe at those monthly meetings, you should bring like an atlas, at least give, Chase some time to study where, bordering states and kind of help expand his knowledge. So the time comes when he wants to take a good ride, he can point himself in the right direction towards what he's thinking about,
Hey, you guys want to go to Florida? Yeah, it's right up there by Denver, right?
That's not up by Oregon.
Yeah, we can go over there and we could take a live.
Yeah, we can go to Montana, right over by Nashville, right? Yeah, Tennessee.
Yeah, you got a long way to go before you're ready. Sure.
That was just funny shit.
Montana was near Tennessee.
Yeah, I know. That's why we're laughing.
Oh. Well, all the other ones were. I thought those were exaggerated. Montana and Tennessee aren't that far, right? Tennessee's like whatever.
Oh,
Figure it out eventually, maybe.
Yeah.
What it's like to be. So me and my brother and my boy, I don't remember where we were coming from, but I know we were in Texas. We were on our way back from something, and my brother he patches in and he goes, "Hey, how much gas you got?" And I should have just realized right then that's a really stupid question because I'm like, I always get the worst mileage. I'm like, why are you asking me? And I'm like, less than you. Why are you asking? He goes, well, what about Chase? And I'm like, I don't know, somewhere in between me and you. What's going on? And he's like, well, I think we kind of might got ourselves into a bind. I'm like, I don't know how we would have got ourselves into a bind, Road Cat.
Yeah, we were right by Big Bend and there was no gas stations on the map.
On the Harley map, there was nothing. It was like, put a fork in us, we were done. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to figure out how we're going to siphon gas into one tank, and I'm like, this is going to get nasty really, really fast, So I slow down and I'm trying to patch into Chase. I'm like, hey, and he's like, battery's dead, and I'm like, how much gas you got? He's like, the hell. I was like, Jonas, yeah, he's somewhere in between me and you. I don't know what's going on. So like, we're talking about how stranded we're about to be, just like, trying to figure out how we're going to go about this. And then a gas station just kind of pops, just like drops out of nowhere. Like they built it real quick for us just to get gas.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's still there or not, but so we pull in there and I was like, I was looking over at Chase and I said, hey, do you, you don't have a clue about how up shit creek we were just about to be, do you? And he was like, why?
Yeah, I got gas. You got gas. What's the problem?
Yeah.
My job.
That's I ain't trying to get into that negative energy.
Man, my job is to follow and listen to music. Bob my head a lot.
He does that. You do that a lot.
What state on that?
Who knows? Who cares?
Bye.
I'm just following those taillights.
I was on a trip going down to Idaho and kind of had my fuel stops planned according to, Google Maps, check stops. Hey, I can go from Pendleton. My next stop will be here. I'm going to get fuel. And, I'm getting down gas lights about to come on. Okay, cool. Here's my gas stops coming up 5 miles. Yeah, that gas station was still under construction. It wasn't open. My gas light comes on. Pull out on the highway, and I made it about 10 miles short of the next gas station. Out of gas.
Yep.
That was awesome.
I've never heard that noise until Jared ran out of gas 3 times in the same day on our way to Arizona. I thought that because Jared just got a cam job done, I was like, oh, his bike's got problems, and we're a couple states away. I think.
Yeah, I think. I don't even know if we're in Texas anymore.
Yeah.
I don't see any Texas plates. I assumed we're in a different state.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
hey, Chase. By the way, Montana to Tennessee is 1,900 miles.
Oh, wow. That's significantly farther than I would have thought. I thought like maybe 1,000. Holy shit.
Yeah, put that in perspective. It was 1,200 for us to get to Indiana. That's how wildly off you are.
Well, and it's funny you say that. I got into an argument the other day about how close Indiana is. I was like, I did it in a day. It can't be that far all the way across the United States. I was like, oh shit. That's how far 1,000
5
miles
states
get you.
away.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Well, yeah, right. So he, this one, he's like, hey, so Horsepower Inc. has got bike night on Friday. And I was like, Horsepower Inc. Where's that? I'm like, I've heard of them, but I don't know where the hell they're. And he's like, Gasoline Alley. It's just right up the road. And I'm like, Googling away. I said, son, that's in Indiana. And he was like, yeah, but it's like only 1,200 miles. You do the 1K in a day all the time. I was like, I mean, it's hard to argue with that logic. Okay, all right. I guess we're going to Indiana on Friday.
Yeah. And a huge reason I really wanted to go, there was a couple of really big reasons. Is one, I love HPI. They're like my favorite performance company right now, right? And so I've always liked them. And Seabear and those guys always kind of hang around there. Or whenever they have bike nights, you normally see Seabear and stuff like that over there doing crazy stuff on their bikes. So I was like, oh, Dad, we can go see Seabear or something like that live. So and see HPI. So we get there, and then Junkyard Kenny and CJ Barhammer there, and that was cool. It was cool seeing them, seeing how crazy far their bikes lean over. Seabear wasn't there. I was like, dang, that kind of stinks. And so, by the way, we got there and the cops were shutting it down, which is a separate story on its own. But so we left out of there, and like 30 minutes later, I saw on Seabear's story he was out doing stunts there. I was like, oh, come on, man. So what happened was there was something up with his bike. He went into the shop, and then we arrived, and then we left, and then he came out of the shop. So he was there the whole time. He was just in the shop.
Yeah.
So that kind of stinks. But,
probably wrenching.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he thought he broke something.
No, that's probably the extent of how we do most of our planning. Hey, you get this Friday off?
Yeah.
Can you get this Friday off?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the Arizona trip was the only one that was like planned at least a month in advance.
Arizona?
Or yeah, not Arizona. Vegas. I always think of the Arizona trip because it's the surviving Arizona trip. None of us could make it out of Arizona without some sort of problem.
Oh,
He blew
man.
a head gasket. I got a nail on my tire. Jared got a nail on his tire. Oh, no, he had to get a whole new rim. He had spoke rims. And they freaking
some of the spokes came out or something. Right?
Yeah, it's like he had to get a whole new rim.
Yeah. Good times in Arizona. Sucks because Arizona's got some really pretty riding.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Come to
Yeah,
find
some
out.
great roads.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I had a brand new tire when we got to Arizona. I put it on the day before we left, and then
in Arizona where you got pulled over by that cop asking you how fast you were going.
Oh my God. I thought I was going to jail for sure. Oh man.
He was being, this is one of those stories where he's going to start with, I was being a jackass.
Yeah, this time I wasn't.
This cop had no idea how fast he was going, just that he was breaking the law. He was like, how fast were you going?
Asked me like 7 times. I was like, officer, I don't know. And he's like, you have no idea. I was like, no, I was busy weaving through traffic. I'm surprised you got me. So yeah, I mean, oh man. So, yeah, so I'm in Arizona and I'm trying to get to Harley on time, and so I got this hole in my back tire.
We got somewhere to be, officer. Is this gonna be long?
We got a plug in my back tire. Harley closes in like 30 minutes. I'm like 50 minutes away, and so I'm in Arizona. I was doing well over the speed limit. I had there's this beautiful little spot where the cars lined up so I could go boom, 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 and then I got stuck behind a truck. And then I remember I was behind an orange Ram. And I was like, my lights look weird, And then I looked behind me, oh shit, oh boy. So
my lights look weird.
Yeah, politely pull over, and like before I had my bike
blinker on,
yeah,
click, 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 click.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Before I even had my bike off, the officer was out of his car walking to me. Said
furious.
Oh yeah, he said, turn off your bike and take your helmet off. I was like, oh shit,
this isn't gonna go well.
Yeah, this is it. I'm not gonna bail me out of Arizona jail.
This has been a great trip.
Yeah. So yeah, but no, yeah, somewhere to be. So that was cool. And
he got called off to a different scene, right, or something.
There was a tire up on the road ahead, and so like I passed him doing like 5 over again, and I was like, oh shit. He's like flinging tire back into the shoulder, but. That was terrifying. So made it to Harley on time, got a new tire. Didn't get a ticket, didn't go to jail. So lesson not learned.
And actually I need to use my GPS. I'm not sure what version it's updated to. Just not a fan of the system. The CarPlay system or a fan of the HD GPS?
I don't like the HD GPS at all.
I just use Google Maps.
Me too. Yeah, Google Maps all the way.
Yeah, if I'm trying to get
he's got the boom box.
The Harley boom. Blech. It leaves a lot to. It's tough because they do quite a few things right, but they do a lot of stuff wrong.
Yeah.
See, what I like with Google Maps is I can map it out on the computer, plug in different stops. Say if I'm like when I did my ride 1K in a day, I had all my gas stops pre-planned. Okay, I'm going to get gas here. I know I can get here, and riding kind of did my homework when I'm going through an area that I wasn't familiar with. So it's like, hey, this little town, Kuskia, Idaho, I'm going to get fuel here. I'm going to get here. And so you could plot all those waypoints on the computer. And then I just, send it to my phone, taking off that morning, hit the map, and boom, there, I'm ready to roll. And it worked freaking slick.
Yeah. So I have the older system than you do, and I want to say it's a lot better with yours.
Oh, it is.
But it's still obviously not better than Apple or better than
Google. Well, and then so in their defense, right, they'll never have, well, I don't say never, but their biggest hurdle right now that they have to, I think, is live reporting. You know what I mean? If you got your Google Maps up, you can see that, hey, they got a road blockage ahead because, it's all red. Don't go this way,
Google interrupts my music to tell me there's a speed trap ahead.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yes. That's
sexy.
Killer. Yeah,
oh,
it
yeah.
is.
I love you, Google. I love you. Oh, yeah. No, my GPS is worse than yours, so I can't stand to use mine.
The nicest thing about it for me is it's nice to, like, I leave the map up because if I'm on a road that I don't know where I'm at, it's nice to know if there's any turns coming at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, and that was the only way I could leave Kyle and the sisters, was because I knew what turns were coming up. So, we get into a hairpin. I'm like, oh yeah, but Kyle's got a 114 Road King, and he was on me and my dad's butt, man. We were cooking. But yeah, that was the only place that I could ever leave him, was because I always have my map up when we're doing twisty stuff like that, So it's like, if there's no gravel, I got this.
Yeah, there was a couple dicey spots on that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bri. Live maps, game changer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I don't do any planning when it's like gas stops and all that. I just, you know what? Harley does actually a pretty damn good job of that. with the exception of that one story I told earlier. But the gas stop, if you have, okay, so if I'm on the way home, usually what I'll do is I'll just, in my Harley, I'll just say, hey, go home, right? And then it's got a route, it knows where I'm going. I don't ever take the route that it's got planned for me, but that's the way I'm going. I'm using Google Maps to get home. But what happens is when I get to about a half a tank or something like that, I'll just pull up gas stops along the way between where I'm at and the house. And it'll say, there's a plethora of them, or, hey, there's 5 stops. I'm like, okay, well, I'm definitely not going to chance it. I'm going to get down to a quarter of a tank and get it here or whatever. And of course, if I'm with my brother, my bike's always sucking fumes.
Oh my gosh. I'm so surprised we haven't had to push your bike anywhere yet.
Pushing hell. He's going to the gas station, getting the gas can and coming back. That's why I don't really mind so much. What up?
Hey. Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes if I'm by myself, sometimes areas I'll try to, kind of look at it. But like if I'm riding with my dad, it's like, fuck it, I don't worry about it. I know he knows where all the shit is.
See, I think it might be an older thing, right? Just follow the older one. He knows where you're going.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's something to that. Maybe there's some kind of subliminal, subconscious thing where I'm just like following this old bastard here. He knows shit.
Road cap shop, not mine.
He knows these roads before they were roads. He tells me all the time.
Yeah.
Oh man. So what about you and your dad? You said that he's a football fan, so
he's probably watching the game right now.
Gotcha. Y'all got any rides planned this year?
I think we're going to try to do the one this year that we were going to try to do last year, which was we were going from up here in Washington. Our first night, we were going to be staying down by Missoula, Montana. And then we were going from there, was either going to go over Lolo or Beartooth Pass in Montana, kind of hit the western side of Yellowstone, hit a little bit of Wyoming, and then back to Idaho, stay down there. We were going to stay 2 nights in Idaho because the second night would be staying at my brother's place down outside Boise, Idaho, and then ride home on the 4th day, I think it would have been. Mm-hmm. But being as my dad ended up finding out that he had a major blockage in an artery in his heart, and then 2 other guys came down with the fucking COVID shit, we just said, you know what, we'll cancel it and we'll do it next year.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to try to do that one this year. And then probably, do some weekend rides exploring, get the Tour of Honor.
Nice. Yeah. Tour of Honor.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I looked into that, not with great detail, but how does it work? Because it's per state, right? Don't they have?
Yeah, it's in every state. So I think, what is it? The map comes out. Well, I wouldn't say the map, but they will 7 checkpoints in every state, different military monuments. Mm-hmm. And the first, people to complete their home state, you log in, get pictures of your bike there with your flag and hit all the monuments. And I mean, you can go hit other states. And I know there's some guys that, have won multiple states.
So when you sign up, you're just basically signing up in your home state, and then
you don't have to sign up for your home state. You just sign up, yourself. You'll get a flag, with your number on it. Mm-hmm. And then, you can knock out your state. You can do, as many states as, you want to complete, try to, see more monuments. And your registration fee goes towards different charities, if they're sponsoring it. It's a really cool deal.
Nice. Yeah.
Michael Nielsen, the Two Wheels to Survive, we're going to go knock some of them out. I want to say it's like May 1st. They open up all the destinations for it where every checkpoint is.
So we did the Grand Tour of Texas last year, and me and my brother are going to do it again this year. They've already released all 50 stops that are coming up, and there's a couple of people that I know that are not doing it again because there's like some repeats, and I get it, but it was a blast for us. But I was looking into doing that Tour of Honor as well, but I couldn't. Every time I try to look into it, I kind of get rabbit holed into something else. But
me and Michael were talking about doing the how they call it, the Tour of Honor Extreme Iron Butt. Do all of them in one day, knock them out, do 1,000 miles, and it might end up being a little more, but see if we can knock it out and do an Iron Butt out of it.
Whew.
Wow. Man, the 1K in a day or 1,000 mile, that stuff is just. I'm 20 years old and it's hard for me. Like.
Well, yeah, and like Hopper, I'm just.
Oh my gosh, that is bananas.
Do that.
That is. Whew.
Holy shit.
I mean, and I mean, he's got the resume to do it. Don't get me wrong, right? So I mean, he puts in a lot of miles. So, 1,000 miles in a day for him probably is nowhere near. Obviously, nowhere near as a drag as it is on like me or you, whatever. But I don't. I think that I'm probably in better shape than most motorcycle riders, right? That would attempt a 1K. You know what I mean? So, and by better shape, I just mean like more custom. I can like the idea of adding a reserve or an auxiliary gas tank to my bike is feasible for me, and it wouldn't be for a lot of people because that's 400 miles of not getting up. You know what I mean? So, I think that I could do that. And at the end of a day of riding like that, 1,000 miles, it's like you feel it. I mean, it's tough. And to do that 100 days in a row, man.
Well, yeah, there's the pros and cons, right? So the cons, right? Like you said, you feel it, like physically, it hurts, but also you feel it, like you feel like that accomplishment of doing 1K in a day. It's a cool feeling. 100,000 miles in 100 days. Talk about an accomplishment.
Oh, yeah, but when you're sitting there in that nice, comfy Wild Ass, telling you what, comfort, buddy.
Here you go, Bree. Here's your next sponsor.
Hey, big shout out to Wild Ass. They came on board last year with the podcast. Craig, it is a great company, and I am highly impressed with the seat cushions. They make one hell of a difference.
Do you need like a little hand pump to? They have those little air pockets, right? Like do you pump those up?
You can pump. You can even unscrew it and blow air into it by your mouth, or you can just hit on a pump. It doesn't take hardly much at all. Then once you sit on it, you twist the valve to let some of the air out to cushion it to your own ass. It doesn't take much air in those to make that much difference. There's troughs, like little valleys in it where air will go through to, so you don't get all fucking swamp ass. No, dude, they're fucking amazing. They are impressive.
I've been wanting to get my girlfriend one for a long time because I'm cool with my seat, but she's not. And she doesn't like doing more than 100 miles in a day, which is lame. But yeah, no, I've been wanting to. I tried one out on a Sportster whenever I first started working at my motorcycle shop, or that motorcycle shop I was at.
You tried one out on
a Sportster, like not riding it around, but sitting on it, and I was like, wow, this is a cloud.
Oh, the Wild Ass?
But yeah, I mean, compared to a stock Sportster seat, which sucks.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, they're cool.
Not sitting the bar.
Yeah, I mean, it made a difference for my wife because her tailbone, it would just kill her on the seat. I mean, I got the touring seat and we put the Wild Ass on, and, I had mine, she's got one, and it made a huge difference in comfort even for her.
Yeah, it keeps you from having to buy a $1,000 seat too, $600, $800 seat.
Yep.
If it can, So yeah.
Yeah.
Are you roasting me right now?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean I plan on getting a $800 seat, but that's just because I want a cool Saddleman seat. They look cool, and yeah.
I want to spend $1,000 for it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But I can't. This Four Corners trip is going to cost too much.
Yeah, Dad. I can't do that Four Corners trip. I'm too busy saving up for Olin's.
What's the point if you're not going to get to use them? Oh, I'll get to use them, Dad.
Oh. Hey, I can send you a link for something that's might be even a little better than those, but that's all.
Yeah, no, send it to me. For sure.
I will.
Yeah, definitely. I really just wanted Olin's because that's what all the cool kids have. This guy's suspended by Smarty, and he's got nothing but great things to say. That's what I've heard from
Carol Berg.
I mean, they do have some cool stuff. There was one other one.
That's who did Hops too, by the way.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. So he's done a lot of people's bikes, man. I don't know how he has a lot of time.
So what was interesting about Hops' deal was whenever he would come in for his scheduled maintenance, Smarty actually met him at I think it's Republic Harley with a rebuilt set of shocks. And so what he would do was he would just swap him out to save time, and then he would take him back and he would rebuild him at his place. And whenever he came back in, I think they swapped out every 20,000 miles. I'm not sure.
Very nice.
So
what's crazy? You spend all that money and you got to have them rebuilt yearly. Just seems kind of funky. And then you're down a month because you got to send your shocks out to be rebuilt. And that part's kind of, I don't know. You spend all that money for it. It just seems kind of strange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, man, I had something to say about that suspension. Oh shit, never mind. There's a lot of great brands out there. I wanted Legends at first, of course, because whenever I first started getting into my road glide, I was like, I just want to do everything that Seabear does. Everything is built by HPI. It's got Legends suspension. So I was like, let's take this fairing off, get the older fairing on. Shit.
Dad, can you pour some gas out here on the street so I can light it up?
Dad, I'm just gonna hold the throttle down. Tell me how my rev limiter sounds. Yeah, no.
RWD.
RWD. That's one of the ones I was gonna say. Legend, Olin's, RWD. Those are the three names.
RWD. He started with building shocks for Baja for Ironman.
Nice.
Isaac Stewart and kind of got started with Ibach. I mean, this guy's whole life has built shocks, and now he's doing shocks for Harley.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Michael Nielsen just bought a set for his what the fuck's he riding? Not 2020 Road King. He just put a set on his a couple months ago. He fucking loves them.
Wow.
And they custom. You go in there, tell them, basically, hey, this is my style of riding. Here's my, what I do. And they make those shocks specifically for your bike. And they're still just a hair cheaper than Legends.
Yeah.
And lifetime warranty.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't know that. Well, so I'm in, of course, all the performance bagger pages that I can be. And I see a lot of those guys, everybody runs Olins and Legends because, it's like the name brand stuff. But I'll see every once in a while some guys will come out with the RWD stuff and say, I trashed my Olins so I can get these RWDs or threw them away or sold them or whatever. And I've always been really interested to see. Like I didn't know that they came from the Iron Man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I sent you the link for it to their webpage. But yeah, I mean, this guy's whole career in life has been
suspension. Huh?
Yeah,
I mean, he knows a thing or two.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah. I've heard nothing but great things about him, and I'm considering going with a set of those.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll look into that more. I didn't know. I mean, hearing that they came from Baja, that's
impressive.
Really intriguing. I mean, like if King made shocks for bikes, I'd buy them in a heartbeat. I'd go into death King shocks on a bike, but go into more debt, I should say.
Oh, it's hell to be young.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. and now we're old and crippled.
Yeah, no shit. It's a journey, man. It's tough. It's a tough life because, you're young. And you're putting all this money together and you're trying to do all this shit and you're trying to do all the fun stuff, the old people are doing. But then, by the time you get all the stuff, you're old and your body can't do what you did when you was younger. Yeah, I grew up on a dirt bike and I was watching somebody do some dirt bike shit. And I was thinking about all the places that would hurt me. And I was like, man, I used to do that shit. We used to go balls out. I had a blast riding dirt bikes. And I'm like, my knees, my back. Oh man, that would jar my shoulder. That would jar my shoulder blades too bad.
Oh man, I mean, broken kneecap, ankles, few ribs, my head, ruptured spinal cord. I mean, I got spinal arthritis, my shoulders. Yeah, it's awesome. But you know what? It's still fun. I love the shit out of it.
That's what I'm gonna say. It's still fun. At least, I mean, you have stories at the end of the day. Better than anybody who doesn't have any scars and zero stories.
Oh, well, 100% agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
10 scars to go with them.
Yeah. The best stories. Yeah. Some of the best stories.
Still.
Or even I think still some of the best stories are, some of the, the motorcycle trips with my dad. When that guy has done some of the shit he's done that is just so comical to witness. I'll never forget him flooding the cabin at KOA in Leavenworth. That was epic.
You gonna share it with us or what?
Oh yeah, sure.
Like you baiting us and just gonna let us dangle or what?
The night before we were down in Winthrop. It's a small little Western themed town. There's one bar called Three Finger Jack Saloon. We'd had a good time there the night before. The KOA was literally like a block and a half away, so you could walk down there and stagger back to camp. I wake up in the morning, I'm like halfway in my tent, and I hear my dad coming back. We gotta go. I mean, he's literally taking my tent down while I'm still in it. Like, what the hell's going on? I mean, his bike is packed up, it's running. I'm like, what the fuck? And
Jonas Setzer.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is going on? So I mean, quickly, get on the bike, get tent packed up, and we're leaving. And there's a cabin there where there's, a couple washer and dryers, there's a shower, bathrooms, and he kind of slows down. He points at the cabin as water is running out the front door. I'm like, what in the hell is that? He's like, I went to take a shit, the toilet plugged up, and all of a sudden it broke. And he goes, I couldn't get the water to shut off.
Let's go.
We gotta go. That's what that means.
It's like, I'm like, oh my God, get downtown and there's this bakery, making this killer pastries and just smells. So let's stop, get some food. Next town, we're out of here. We're going. We ain't stopping. It's just one of those things I will never fucking forget. It was so fucking funny.
Wrong one. I was looking for that. Anyway.
Yeah.
That was for Bri the beaker.
Bri the beaker.
Bri the biker. Bri the biker. Yeah. That's for you, Bri.
Yeah. But I tell you what, though, man. But Bri is a solid guy and a great friend.
Yeah, he is.
That guy is awesome.
That's what his sponsors have to say as well, from what I hear.
And also,
we can't forget the Harley Fat Boy Jr.
Well, the biggest difference in these two, the biggest difference in these two guys, I can tell you right now, for anybody who's listening, anybody that cares, is this. Bri is a great friend, and he will break you financially with his friendship. If you have a common interest in anything that he has a sponsorship for, you will go broke. Now, he won't tell you how many people he's sponsored with. All the the hat gimmicks and stuff like that. Those are the people that that he's going to let you see. But what he's not showing you is the people that he's sponsored by is like Shure, Canon, all these other big name brands that they got some exclusivity deals, and so it's like I bought 3 cameras. I bought 3 Canon cameras, and then he goes, but those aren't full frame. I was like, son of a bitch. So, now Harley Fat Boy, that dude is just all heart. So Bri, he's gonna break you financially, but he's a good guy. Harley. Anyway.
Yeah.
That was good.
Big Smitty. Big Smitty says Bri is to motor vlogger gear what Jason is to motorcycles. Expensive.
That is epic.
Touche.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of expensive motorcycles,
in total years.
Huh?
Wait, is this gonna be saved for a Setzerpendence video?
This guy. Look at him. Yeah. Did you see my 4K video? He's bastard. Anyway, so I'll just say I have a dialogue going with Moonshine Harley Davidson out in Tennessee. Speaking of Tennessee, we'll see how that goes. But
hey, well, which way is it to Tennessee, Chase? We going north, east, south, west? What?
Hey, I can tell you with 100% certainty, north of Texas. I think. Tennessee, I mean, it's not low, right?
Oh,
Arkansas area, like horizontal.
it's more east than it is north, but
it is above Texas.
Yes, I guess it is technically north.
No, not really.
I mean, if you went north of Texas, you'd be in Sturgis, but I mean,
not directly north.
You kind of got to go northeast.
You kind of got to go east north.
North is involved in the statement. That's all about. I'm from Texas. That's the only state you really need to know.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
That in Florida.
Full frame is the 131 of cameras.
Dude, me, Bri, Salty, and Smitty in one group conversation is hilarious. It's absolutely hysterical because it's like it'll start off very normal, hey, we're talking about motorcycles, and then something will be said about shooting it full frame at 60 frames a second or something like that, and Salty and Smitty are both like, y'all done? Anyway.
Oh,
And then, like I'm pretty moderately tech savvy, and my dad and I, when we get into
Anything.
when we get into anything, we're nerds, right? So we need to know specs, numbers, all that. He got into cameras, and I've always been kind of into cameras, but not really. And so there was like a definitive moment when he like surpassed me by a long shot with camera knowledge, because I was talking about ISO and different settings, stuff like that. And then he just starts talking numbers like we're in math class, and I was like, dude, you're forgetting letters in these sentences. What are you talking about? And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave the camera stuff to him now. No more recommendations for Jason.
Well, I mean, you still take better pictures. He takes better pictures with his phone than I do with all this gear. I mean, I just need to sell it. And
it's all the editing. Gotta throw it in Lightroom.
But yes, I will say that we are
Snapseed.
nerds.
Yeah.
I like Snapseed.
Snapseed?
What's that?
For editing.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Works pretty good.
I am super into Adobe, so I'm such a fanboy for anything Adobe related. So I think I'm tied by heart to Lightroom for photo editing or Photoshop. But I get so carried away with Photoshop, so I just got to stay away from it. It's been hours to take out some power lines.
Well, it's so frustrating whenever you're trying to get the shot, whatever the shot is, and for anybody to say, just Photoshop it. I'm like, do you know how much effort, how much time it would save me if you would just move 2 foot to the left?
Oh my God.
Keep me from having to Photoshop anything.
Can you take that napkin off the table? Just Photoshop it out. Why? Why? Your arm's right there. Just reach it, throw it to the side. 2 seconds now, 50 minutes later.
Yeah, nerds.
Anyway.
Some people.
We're getting angry at hypothetical people right now. Doesn't matter that much.
So, anyways.
Yeah.
Yes, family. It's a blast. I love riding with my family.
Yeah.
We put together, so I didn't really think about this until it got going. And that is this whole YouTube journey that I've kind of been on. Along the way, I thought about what a awesome time capsule that would be for our family, So like whenever my dad died, we had to scrounge pictures together. Third cousins and, hey, do y'all have any pictures of Bill? All this. And we had 10 pictures up at his, at his funeral, And so I was like, if I miss my dad dearly, So if I had, and my mom for that matter, but if my dad had videos of him, I would watch them frequently. You know what I mean? Just because there's a lot that, you forget, and then just, I miss the guy, and, I would watch that, I would definitely watch that. I think that there's something here that we can leave for our family, my unborn grandchildren. I started joking around on some of the videos, because that's who I think I want the audience to be at some point. That'd be really cool if we could hand this over to the boys at some point, and one of them or both of them or somebody or their kids, somebody took it over and just, kept on. The great game kids could see who they come from and what we were into when motorcycles were still legal.
Yeah.
And that's what I think it was. Fat Boy said the same thing. I think, God, I don't want to ruin a story or butcher it. I don't remember if it was his dad that had passed away or was a family member. And same thing. He didn't have pictures, very few. And that was kind of what he stated. His whole kind of purpose behind his YouTube journey was people could look back and see the videos and, here's pictures of me. Here's, this stuff. Here's, family stuff. This is what I like to do. And, there's something for people to look back on.
Yeah. Well, and then not only just look back, but I mean, so, you look back and see your family having a good time.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy. Everybody's mostly happy. Everybody's enjoying, whatever it is that they're enjoying, it's, I think it's ultimate time capsule. I started a blog, an actual blog. We got an About Us page and, just the whole nine. It's been pretty cool. I enjoy doing it. At some point I would enjoy them getting more involved, but they got lives too. So,
yeah.
But I don't know. It's
Where's
pretty cool.
Dedication, lives, motorcycles. Come on.
Yeah, as long as we can get them out riding, I'll take care of the rest for now. As long as I can do it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you'll talk about not having a whole lot of pictures of your dad or videos, of course, after they passed, which is unfortunate. There's a kid, a vlogger. He's my age, a kid, right? He's my age. And one of the things he said that got him into vlogging is his dad had a camcorder he was running around with the house with, and he never posted anything. So this kid just looked at videos of his dad with a camcorder, and it wouldn't be a video about anything, but just the mannerisms of his dad, getting to rewatch that, play it over again. He says he plays it all the time, just the mannerisms alone. So having full videos of us having a blast.
Yeah.
Oh man. There's no other evidence of how fun life is without it, or no other evidence, I guess.
That's
I mean, it was like that for, almost 2 years ago. I lost my uncle. I mean, he was my best friend. Time growing up, he was more like a father figure to me when I was young. When my parents divorced, I was really young. And he was that other person in my life that was always had been there for me. I mean, we were, best friends. I mean, I worked for him after high school in the butcher shop, even through high school. And man, he was more than my uncle. And when he passed away, I was going through everything. It's like, dude, I have like 12 pictures. It's so some of those things, like you don't think about snapping that picture, hanging out or whatnot, what it can mean down the road when you get in those situations. Like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a habit, I think, that you got to try to break. At least for me, it's very challenging for me to go down this road with a camera. You know what I mean? Because it's like, just by nature, I just love being on the road. I like being on my bike. I like just hearing I like that way more than I like taking videos and pictures of it. Right. So to stop and, so to speak, smell the roses is a habit that I'm trying to make, because like you just said, my memory sucks. I remember key things in my life, but like the little things that make the evidence, like you just said, the little things that make that so real, I forget them, So like I just in this last year and a half that I've been, trying to vlog with our guys, I'm just like, some of the first videos that I did, it was, painful to watch, but it's also a blast because it's just like, oh, I forgot all about that. I forgot that, I already forgot in a year that we did this together, and that, my sister-in-law was with us, and we had this adventure. We stayed out of here and we did this, and, wherever in Texas. And, there's just so much shit that happens in the course of a year. Yeah. There's so much stimulus that happens all the time. You know what I mean? Your brain can only hold so much, I think. At least I know mine's got a very short limit,
Or sometimes it's like, like I said, I mean, I'm very guilty of it too. You get on, you start riding, and I don't want to stop till it's like time to get gas. And it's like, you can go do this great ride, great trip. Then you looked at it, it's like, well, fuck, dude, all I did was, nothing but ride. And you don't hardly stop for the little things, some of those, like we say, the photographs, pictures, and trying to even get myself to take that extra time, make those little stops, and get some of those, because fuck, I'm very guilty of it. I'll just fucking just pound the miles and just go. I don't want to stop. I just want to go. And well, if you keep doing that, then you're not going to have exactly what we're talking about, the proof of the memories, I guess, in a way that you can look back on.
Yes. And so honestly, on the flip side too, though, and something that I'm pretty happy with, like I feel like you do a really good job of balancing it, is you can also be too much in your camera, forget to enjoy the moment. So, and sometimes you're like, guys, I'm trying to get the camera set up. I promise I want to.
I hate being the guy that holds anybody up at anything in any aspect of life ever. You know what I mean? Ever. I hate being that guy. I hate being a guy that is being waited on. Like we're waiting on this guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I always stress out and I freak out. Like, and that's I bring a lot of that stress on myself. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, it's a big thing for me.
Yeah, well, and so full honesty, I was a little nervous that you would get so ate up with the video recording and editing that you wouldn't really be there in the moment writing with us. You'd just be focused on getting this vlog going, and you, like I said, you do a great job of balancing it, because enjoying it is a huge part of it, rather than just capturing it.
So and that's a fair point. And I know I can say for me, whenever we're riding and I'm doing any kind of documentation, I would definitely say that the recording aspect of it is not nowhere near as much as how much I'm actually enjoying it. Because like I got a lot of footage, I got terabytes of footage, but still it's minutes. It's, you know, it's a few minutes of the ride here, a few minutes of the gas stop here. You know what I mean? I mean, we rode all day for days. You know what I mean? And all day, I mean 12 hours, you know, of riding. And it's like, you know, it takes me long. Now, I will say, going back through the footage after the ride's over and try to figure stuff out, you know, that's a whole different animal or whatever. Yeah. But, you know, the enjoying the ride is definitely, it's definitely the number one thing. And I don't think that has failed. I don't think I've failed on that, or however you want to say it. Yeah. You know, because I enjoy the shit out of it. I love riding with my family. You know, I really enjoy riding with my buddies. You know, but riding with my family is just like,
it's different. There's something else to be said about it.
And you know, like I haven't rode that much with Salty and Smitty and them guys, but like I feel that with them too. You know, like you know, there's just something about it. You know, like I know these guys outside of YouTube, even though that's where we met. And it's just like, you know, might not be blood, but I mean, you know, I'm looking, you know, I feel like I play the same role no matter where I'm at. You know, if I'm just with you guys, or if I'm with, you know, my buddies out there too. You know, I don't feel that way with a lot of people. You know, yeah. So it's interesting. It's a good time.
It is. I mean, that's a very true statement. So, well, shit, guys, it's been fun.
Yeah, buddy.
That's a blast. Yeah, I appreciate you giving us that invite. It's always a blast to be on any kind of social media platform. Invited on it, at least.
So yeah, I'm gonna post a picture of our.
Oh my gosh.
The behind the scenes studio of Setzerpendence.
Oh, so fun fact, right? I am gonna start a podcast, not motorcycle related. And then so whenever you asked us to be on, I was like, hey, this is the perfect opportunity to get off High Center. I was like, I'm going to get this room set up, and I'm just going to throw equipment in here, and then we're going to plug in a bunch of shit, and we're going to get on Denver's show, and then I'll figure out what I do and I don't like, and then we can start tweaking away at it and pecking away at it. You know, I've learned so much in the last 24 hours because yesterday is when I started setting all this up.
I got here at 3, and I was like, we'll be done in an hour, you know? But yeah, I left here at like 7 or 8.
You waiting on what sign, man? You waiting on a sign to buy the bike? Here's your sign, man. Go buy the
bike. Stop talking about it. Be about it.
So actually,
what is your podcast going to be?
Real quick, this guy right here. That's who you need to talk to about a sign. Lo and behold, that's the actual Harley Fat Boys likes the podcast sign in the back.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
So he keeps, yeah.
Yeah.
Riptide Road Glide on Instagram. Fat Boy, that's where you want to.
Yeah. Reach out to me. Keeping it on the down low because of my current, what do you call it? Employment. But yeah, reach out.
What'd you say?
I would say, so what is your little podcast adventure going to be?
Local Talent is going to be the name of it. No, it's not going to have anything to do with strip clubs. Local Talent is going to be about entrepreneurs in the local community here where we're at. And you know, that's actually what Setzerpendence is about too, sort of also, not just about riding bikes, but also about that mindset, that entrepreneur mindset. But the interesting thing about entrepreneurship is I think that people, they think that it can't be them. You know, the people that are not doing it, the people that are on High Center, the people that are just like, oh, there's just too much to know. There's too much to, you know, I don't know nothing about running a business. You know, I think that there's a barrier that can be broke if you are actually seeing people that you do business with talk about their entrepreneurship, you know, what it took to get them into business. You know, I've been out on my own a bunch, you know, so I can't tell you how many different things, how many different ventures that I've, you know, went into and failed and tried and did or whatever. I don't fit into that 9 to 5 corporate life very well. and that's not slamming anybody that does, that's just, my brother, he fits into that, but he's into that for kind of a whole different reason. But anyways, local talent is going to be about local entrepreneurs. And I want to get, I want to get them on and pick their brains and talk about all the ins and outs of starting a business. And pretty cool. Speaking of this one right here, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, we're just keeping it on the
down low.
Down low for now. Yeah.
All right.
Like I said, yeah, just because of my current employment circumstances. Not that like my employer is going to be watching the podcast, but maybe.
Yeah.
Shoot. Denver's numbers keep growing, man.
Slow and steady, buddy. Slow and steady.
Yeah, that's what wins the race.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So,
shit, guys, it's been a lot of fun, man.
Yeah. Appreciate the stories, man.
Anytime.
Doesn't feel like it's been an hour and a half.
Oh shit.
No, it hasn't. Speaking of entrepreneurial life, I'm gonna have to stay after this and get some work done.
Yeah, yesterday we were leaving out of here at like 9. He's like, I didn't get a lick of work done today. He was like, he texted me at like 10 in the morning. He's like, hey, you want to help me set up the podcast real quick?
Yeah, my girlfriend was like, I thought you were going to be gone for a couple hours. I was like, I was. She was like, you were gone for 9 hours. I was like, well, there was a couple hours a few times in there. So she's like, what time are you going to be back today? And I was like, well, after the podcast, I think I might work. Yeah. What? Anyway.
Do the same thing. I'm gonna go home and work too.
Be about that life.
I mean,
I'm gonna have dinner and get ready to go to bed.
Right on, man.
All right.
I appreciate you having us on, bud.
Morning.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. It's been a lot of fun, man. And it's been a lot of fun ever since you came on. God, in the very beginning, Jason. We built a great friendship, talk frequently, and it's awesome, man. It just goes to show this whole community,
I'm blown away by it. I really am, because like I had no idea. You're one of my first digital friends that ever, right? So I'm like, I'm blown away by how all this has went down. I really am. And so like I feel guilty because like talking about the entrepreneurial life, like I am way behind right now, and I'm pulling crazy stupid hours. I'm involved in this online video course that I'll talk about another time. I'm doing all these things, right? And so I'm like, I see my buddies that they're posting stuff on YouTube, and I'm like, man, I'm trying to get over to them, and like I see, I'm like, I'm trying to fit it all in, and it sucks, but yeah, I mean, my digital friends, I have. It's been.
Well, yeah, that was something that I was actually going to bring up was like, I'm obviously not plugged into this nearly as much as you are, but, since the very beginning, Denver, you started talking with my dad regularly, like as soon as he started. And it's really been really just cool to see how much everyone supports each other on this platform, like it's Salty and Smitty and all the other guys, don't meet strangers online. Screw that, man. That's the best place to meet them.
Yeah. It seems to be the most genuine people to meet. It's like, it seems like it'd be a better filter for most of the time. I mean, you're still going to meet the jackasses, but
you're always going to find a few of them, but there.
I mean,
seems to be far more positive ones.
Yeah, I mean, you and I mean, we talked for a long time before I think I even really came on your show, and then even after, you send me some wins going on in your life, and I'm genuinely excited to hear about them. I'm like, I'm honored that you reach out and talk to me about it. I'm like, oh, that's awesome, So,
yeah, I mean, you became one of those great close friends, and you might be on the other side of the country, down south. Chase, he's south,
right?
But,
not that close together.
Oh God,
you're in Africa.
I was informed where Washington was yesterday, and I was very mistaken.
It was awesome, but man, guys, thanks a lot, dude. It's been a lot of fun, and definitely gonna be doing this again.
Yeah. All right, man. I appreciate you.
Denver.
Take care, guys. Have fun.
Later.
All right.
Later, buddy.